beast for a lot of these teams here is the Wraith. If it isn't the Wraith, teams that may find more strength on the Pathfinder could help them out, especially depending on where the zone's going to be pulling. If we have a multi-building zone, if you want to try to take over high ground here too, that could come in clutch. You can try to follow up with a Newcastle if you want to run that as a composition together with your team to jump teams here that may have had that high ground, who may be finding themselves in a fight situation that you could 3P just to close in that gap. But once again, last game on E District before we swap over to Storm Point now. I'm wondering where the zone's going to be taking us here.
Yeah, wondering where we're going to go and also who's going to get banned. It's been extremely close these last few games between a couple legends. This time around, we're tied, I believe, with the Watson and the Wraith, and the Newcastle just behind them at 11th. So we'll see at the end of this game who will walk away getting banned and who will be moving on to Storm Point. For NRG, though, they are a team that are not rocking the Watson for themselves or the Wraith. They've got that Pathfinder along with the Sparrow and Newcastle.
I think it's so interesting to highlight, too, with Crypto getting banned early on, being in game number 4, it means that it enables the Watson picks, right? You could get away with setting up your fences without having to worry about the EMP on top of it all, which also means you could technically get away with caustic. You know how I feel about that one, Jamerson. But NRG, now the winners of our previous game, going to be able to loot over on their POI. Really big POI, by the way, here in Lotus here. So you have to split loot. Takes a little bit of time. I say a little bit loosely, but after they are going to be able to get that ring con, so they're going to know where they want to find themselves, because we are going right dab in the middle again to Energy Bank.
Round number 2 over here at Energy Bank. And for, well, I guess that's fitting, right? NRG get the win at Energy Bank, and they do it again. Hey, that's not a joke that I'm making. It's just simple, you know, me speaking words. I mean, I'm struggling to do right now.
Listen, speaking words here. Maybe some teams here struggling on speaking their way into victory. I cast Furia literally at 18th. You got to, because with Furia sitting in 18th, 7 KP here, 7 points rather, sorry, are going to be able to make their rotate away from Shipyard Arcade. Time is of the essence. You want to be able to cut off a lot of those teams from the south side where it's going to get really congested in the middle of this rotate. You can see a lot of teams already making their way from Draft Point, E36, Gen G, and Fury will eventually collapse there on that rotate. While we take a look at AG, slowing things down just a little bit here, sitting in 4th place overall. There is that Evil Harvester right there too, as well as that weapon bin there too to get what they need.
Yeah, a quick pit stop for all gamers, as they will have another survey beacon to hit up at Neon Square. Again, they just don't have the priority to try and rotate in faster than so many of these squads. Adjustments that did come out. We saw Team Nemesis do a successful job of gatekeeping Alcazia in our last game. In turn, Alcazia completely avoid that choke point that they were caught out in earlier on to take a very similar position to what they held once they recovered in game number 4. More of that northwest side of Energy Bank.
I got a Team Nemesis too with that POI advantage over by Settlement. See another back-to-back Energy Bank circle pull. They were quick with it, like you noted, Jamerson. Furia, who have called in the evac tower, now making their way over to that north side. We see this flat pile-up start happening here, though. Team Orchid, who are on the high ground. Looks like there's a team right below them. You can see the Watson fences just lined up. A lot of space here to coexist. I love fighting here off the rip once you drop into the middle of Energy Bank when you want to duke it out. Call it the don't pull up zone for real. Mouse are right underneath them. Evos, though, chasing right behind. Looks like Crazy Raccoon. Spare ult called in, doing enough of that damage. Crazy Raccoon. Krompo now just trying to survive.
Oh boy, he gets tagged once again. That mobile shield was not enough coverage for them, but looks like Obley and Sungjun will be able to at least look down for him, be able to heal up. So Crazy Raccoon survive this movement in, and Evos will no longer give chase. They have another team to their back. I believe it's going to be Shopify Rebellion right ahead of them. Might be ready for this.
On before the storm. Nobody going out yet. 20 spots still here. Evo's right on top of Shopify Rebellion, chasing right after them. Trying to close in that gap here too. Shopify Rebellion really quiet. You heard it from Zach Mazer, expecting Shopify to do a lot better already after these 4 games have been done. Only sitting with 7 total points in 19th place. struggling to find their footing. Still rocking full blue Evos here while they make their way into that next zone, setting Zainu up with purple Evo being on that control legend. And while they try to gatekeep here up on the high ground here, they knew that they were getting chased originally, just making sure their backs are cleared.
Yeah, this is going to be nice for them as they finally do end up picking up that ring scan for themselves. They know that this is going to be the pull for the ring, so they can try and play the slow side of the zone. There's not that much pressure there. As soon as they get themselves a survey beacon scan, that'll work out extremely well for them in understanding the battlefield. Porphyria taking position, and where we ended essentially in game number 4. Will we see this pull on over once again?
And not waste any time. I wanted to make sure that they learned from that previous game here. They had rotated just as quick through draft point. They got that scan there on the beacon, moved right past Gen G, who have found themselves on the outskirts of the tunnel that leads outside from the north side of draft point. And playing up this low ground is a good call. They had gotten that ring console, that's why they're playing here on the outskirts. But with this composition, it also works out for them. They got the Newcastle and they have the Watson.
Yeah, this is actually the 9 o'clock tunnel. So the 6 o'clock tunnel is being held by JD Games. So everyone's expecting this one to be a complete repeat from game number 4. But you can never really try and completely guess the ring. Noah's Fox will be the first team eliminated. Orchid, with the help of, I think, possibly Mouse, will finish them off. 4 Sentinels, they're playing here on the northeast side of Energy Bank currently. Again, there's still so many different permutations for this ring. It can go anywhere here inside of Energy Bank, but for those teams that have taken place inside one of those tunnels in the center of Energy Bank, that is an easily defensible position, especially with the amount of Newcastles and the Watsons that we have.
Playing to their strengths, as well as the amount of race that we have to help out with some of these rotates. See the portal that's been called in by Pricey. Akatsia going to be able to now make their move as Team Liquid are looking at him from afar. Nice pressure though, forcing Yuzula back away. While they find themselves here, it doesn't look like they have the ring console information in the mini-map for Team Liquid specifically. And it is Akatsia. They're going to have to play inside this tiny little building on the low ground for now, because they're neighboring Furia, who are holding that low ground tunnel like you mentioned.
Yeah, for the teams that ended up securing the 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions, well, they're in luck because the ring will be pulling that way. Don't expect too much action for the time being, as so much of the map is still alive. We're slowly getting a pileup though on the northern edge. Algazia getting a better lay of the land. They've got Fury on the other end here. And again, look at this defensive position. How do you push into this one? You've got the Newcastle mobile shield down, and at any point you know that wall will fall, and that'll completely cut off one of these lanes. So Alketsia will go ahead and back away, as it seems Gen G might have JDG in their sights.
And off the legend composition alone, riddled in this lobby, you could expect it to be a lot slower. Yes, 19 squads left, as we see Noah's Fox who get eliminated. Gen here though, Gen G popping off in the feed. Dexter gonna be able to get that knock originally. Go next too. Shopify Rebellion still not able to fully recover. Zainu getting knocked.
NRG looking to get opportunistic here up against Shopify Rebellion, who rotated their way to the northern side. Go next, backing away off of this fight too. But for Game and Gladiators, it's all about finding a way in. They've got 2 teams ahead of them. NRG still controlling this choke. Go next, not going to commit to this fight. They'll just go ahead and back off.
This allows Shopify Rebellion to reset here too after we saw that knock originally. They know that that third party was inevitable from Game and Gladiator, so everybody on that north side, pileup has now just dispersed, while Go next wrapped around on the other side of the choke, seeing if they have another chance from a different direction to lead their way into that next zone, which is why Henchman on the right is going to set up this portal, but you have to avoid getting hit from behind. These 30-30 shots drilling in as Team Liquid are right alongside Go next here too. After that portal was placed, NRG aren't going to be moving in from that northern building. They're just going to be looking at Go next to see if they can keep up the pressure. Shopify
Rebellion shadowing right behind them, applying the pressure onto Go next, but they don't have the opportunity to try and close that gap. They have turned around on to Shopify Rebellion. So Go next, reestablish their position there on the northwest side, forcing them away.
They have to take this fight here. They have to clear their backs, because if they do, they can at least go recontest over the northern choke that they originally wanted to move into that next zone with. If they do commit to that spot that they were moving in with the portal, they're going to get pinched between NRG and Team Liquid, and there's little to no cover once they see where that next zone's going. So either take this fight against Shopify Rebellion, or try to match that on that rotate. Go over to that south side, or commit over to the north choke that over by the building that they were originally trying to take that fight against Shopify in.
Crazy Raccoon rotating to the southern side. That Team Nemesis side of Energy Bank. They've got Evos in the way. Well, Global Shield checking their angles, checking their doors and corners on their way on in. You see that Watson is set up on the other end. They'll just go ahead and swerve around. Unfortunately for them, though, as they make it to the next choke point, it's going to be Team Nemesis who have taken that early position to try and gatekeep them.
By such a good spot to hold, even if it continues to shift over to that west side, as it does. It's the same underground bridge, just more so over to the west side, controlling more of the space that's going to benefit the likes of Twisted Minds, Gen G. We know that holding that high ground position over to the south side of a zone like this by Energy Bank helps you out, not only in terms of positioning, but allowing you to continuously pressure the teams that are engaging in fights. Nice side by side, the mythic bin that has been called in at the end of that ring 2, available right alongside Furia and JG.
It looks like it will be JD Gaming to secure that one for now. We get a better look at this zone. So yeah, that same end zone is still in this next ring, but it shouldn't be pulling over that way. It's Alcazia in the middle with JD Gaming holding the tunnel, Gen G and Twisted Minds on the heights just above them. Rest of the lobby, though, piled up on that northern side of Energy Bank, with about 4 teams to the edge there. Orchid, one of those squads that have to rotate now down to the south, and this is a good timing for them. They had Mouse underneath them, and like I said, had Mouse underneath them. NRG taking an energized zip across as well to try and cut off Mouse. For GG, though, this is the end of their fights. Mouse, NRG, Orchid, all making their way in from that north end.
That's a difference when you have the Pathfinder versus the Wraith, right? You want to get a little aggressive, try to zip your way into that next zone, looking behind them at Team Liquid, wanting to clear their backs, but if they engage in that fight, Furia are also looking at them. They're in their line of sight. They could pepper them. Mouse, though, understanding the situation, wanting to navigate away without getting pinched here too, directly in the middle, because Sentinels will be right behind them. So will Team Orchid, who held that northern position for a while over at their POI of Energy Bank, and waiting for them in front of them is going to be E36.
You've got to be careful here of that natural pinch that could happen. Team Orchid coming in from their north, Sentinels as well from the northeast. Like you had mentioned, Enter Force 36 just on the other side of this wall. Go next will be the next team finally eliminated. Team Liquid's Yanya are able to pick that one up off that building that's secure here on the northern west side of Energy Bank. Team Liquid have a lot of pressure alleviated now to try and turn the screws onto NRG, who haven't moved out of this position quite yet. Ring pulls away, and now Team Liquid understand that they have to take this fight now.
Man, that next zone pull, by the way, you know, Gen G and Twisted Minds are feasting. And it was crazy because we highlighted Alberlily and Asia individually, both still with 11 KP because they're playing for the late game, which is why they have space in those 2 buildings once that next zone starts closing in. And a lot of these teams are forced to collapse on one another on this entire north side. Team Orchid looking to pinch Team Liquid with AG on the other side.
Team Liquid are inside their building, and I believe Jaguares spotted him. No, he didn't. At this point, if they commit to this fight, it will be Orchid to jump right on top of them. In the kill feed, 2 members of Game & Gladiators go down. It's Team Nemesis, who were still controlling that choke point on the southeast side. Blast, the only one alive for them, about to run into JD Gaming. See how much longer he can survive for, as it looks like Light will end up getting thirsted. And that third of Game & Gladiators surviving.
As a solo for now, though. Playing off this high ground, back against the fence, hoping nobody sees this lone Watson setting up these fences here. Seymour Nux in the feed, Team Liquid still pressuring out. Energy, who are forced to now rotate. Team Orchid now fully send it onto Team Liquid here. Hawadis taking a lot of damage. Both members, Nizel and Hawadis, as they try to pop the shield back. Cersei tries to make the moves here as the fragger. Tries to get and move up. Tries to block them by the doorway. Get taken out as Rambo is doing just enough to take out Team Liquid, who are bludgeoned.
Perfect third-party timing here, but it's not over quite yet. AG in a fight with Gen G, as NRG are left down to just Sykes here. Nizel ends up getting a knock onto Cersei, but Orchid should be able to survive as a duo, running in with the zone to their back. For AG, though, it's all about trying to finish off NRG.
Saw that earlier when Cersei had gotten down initially in that fight here too, so now forced to play this out as a duo as they make their way from the ring. Mouse, Aku going down though, having to play up this low ground, having to navigate away from the high ground here too, but the nades are too much. Where do you go when you're getting gate kept like this and you know that there's action happening right above you?
They literally just got snapped like that. At that point, Team Orchid though, as that duo, that high ground peak down onto Furia, the drop down from Luxford here to try to commit the kills, but Furion will, excuse me.
Wait, that's actually
came up
perfect.
with like a new EV evolution in the middle of that, by the way.
Wait, that
Orchid
was
are out. Orchid are out. Let's recover. 12 teams remaining. Gaming Gladiators that are lone player in Blast will get taken out, and Furia will go ahead and readjust their position here with a knock onto AG.
Man, Nox getting that with the 30-30. You say Furion, I say Furnace, maybe?
Carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on. There's another knock
to
on
his
the
back
drop.
here. I guess get the carry on available for you on your flight because they are soaring outside the zone. They're looking to recover, and now they see the team right in front of you as NRG do get eliminated. The action happening to their left as AG are holding the low ground alongside Furia, but they're in the line of sight of another team who has the charge rifle in their hand.
But now they got to hurry on because they've got Gen G gatekeeping there. AGAL on the low ground as well. A lot of fighting here on the north end as Enter Force 36 ends up getting knocked out. AG set up that wall along with the Newcastle wall and the pylon. For Shopify Rebellion, they've got across this bridge. Team Nemesis keeping an eye on them for now, but it looks like they're a little bit more concerned with JDG instead. So Shopify Rebellion are looking for the third party.
Yeah, JD Gaming, you saw Johnny just casually getting two knocks right there, make it 3 in the feed, 2, getting 1 onto Nemesis. Over to the other side as MT tries to stay alive. Gold Havoc in hand, gets that next crack here, but they have to start moving with the zone closing in. Round 5, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna make your eyes water, but they don't know what's behind them. Albert Lely sneaks up, but he gets taken down. Great awareness as they get the trade initially onto Team Nemesis.
Aishia can't take any more damage here from that ring. That death ball of teams from the northern side getting whittled down. RRX will be the next team to fall. Somehow Kaishia is still alive, but he has to barrel through that fence, and ultimately Team Nemesis go down.
That was work for Alberley to overextend because they're one of the teams with the raid, so they can go right back to their building as it was only him that overextended to get that KP. Team Nemesis going out. 8 squads left. Sentinels get the res here too. Tight lobby as JD Gaming go out. Sentinels trying to keep alive as Carter with the G7 cannot clutch it out. Furia move up, and it's a buffet for them to feast.
5 teams remaining, 5 full teams here as Furia will... I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. They set themselves up that Pathfinder zipline just to have that option for movement here, but it seems like might have bitten off a little bit more than they could chew. All gamers pushing in, that mobile shield providing a moment of pause for this fight. It's a 1-for-1 exchange as Keon gets a knock onto Drop. Zap comes in from behind, gets that re-knock onto Madness, and now going for that 1v1, but the Newcastle res might just be enough to even things out, and it is. Furia stay alive with another res on to Madness.
That's a Newcastle diff, by the way, right there. That you know, everyone be seething when it happens to them when you try to get overzealous, especially when it's a purple knockdown that you got to deal with from the Resing Newcastle. Furia, though, on fire, riding momentum. 11 total KP for Furia. They're trying to make it Dia de Furia here as Twisted Minds now on the high ground, looking at the team right alongside them.
Yeah, Shopify Rebellion stuck on the low ground. Furia not having the opportunity really to peek on over, but it looks like Twisted Minds are a little bit preoccupied with Gen G. Shopify Rebellion trying to get that airburst nade on Zephyria, but Watson's are in play, so those nades go nowhere.
And again, no crypto to worry about. You just get all your fence lines ready to go while Keon has that Newcastle wall, slams it down here. Single bolt right behind them here, but their focus is on Shopify, who get beamed, by the way. Then in the feed, you have Humberly popping up with these nades, but Fury get the double knock. Shopify only down to a solo, as Shopify is just trying to stay alive. It's just Koiful who goes into the line of sight. Other teams right above him, but he's still alive for now.
Twisted Minds haven't finished off their kill. Never mind, there it is. The final 3v3. Keon trying to hit up that bat. Twisted Minds have so much utility, but Crunk ends up getting down to Abraleli is popping off.
They get the trade, though. That's great. Abraleli playing off the heads, though. Getting out of the line of sight. It's the Newcastle dip once again. The big difference. And they were able to pop that shield bat. It looks like they're getting the next res. It's only up to Abraleli. You're outnumbered. Gets punched. Furia take the dub, coming out of the low ground, taking that fight against Twisted Minds.
Unfortunately for Abraleli, at some point, you're popping off too much. 4 shots left in that devotion, and he only had the G7 scout in the back. Furia throwing a lifeline with this game win. That's going to propel them